Well, there you have it, of course, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi there speaking about the budget and lauding the performance that has been put in, or the work, the hard work of the Finance Minister and his team in presenting a budget for everyone is what he called it. We'll talk about the interim budget. What does it mean for you? We'll try and decode it as well. Over the next 1 hour, we'll concentrate on taxation and how you can save money and what needs to be done so as to ensure that you pay as less taxes as possible, legally, of course. I'm Frank Rausen Pereira. With me is Sonia Singh. We have a panel of experts here in our studio as well to talk about taxation. Dr. Rajay Dua, former Secretary, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Dr. P. Pulla Rao, economist, and Ved Jain, tax expert as well. Before we start our discussion, let's take a look at the headlines.
तो कितने लोगों को क्या फायदा हुआ है हम आपको बताएंगे। अंतरिम बजट में किसानों, कामगारों और नौकरी पेशा लोगों के लिए बड़ी राहत। इनकम टैक्स में देश के इतिहास में अब तक की सबसे बड़ी छूट, पहली बार टैक्स सीमा में 2.5 लाख रुपए की रियायत। किसानों के लिए प्रधानमंत्री किसान सम्मान निधि का ऐलान, सीधे खाते में जाएंगे सालाना 6,000 रुपए। 12 करोड़ छोटे और सीमांत किसानों को होगा फायदा। गायों के कल्याण के लिए राष्ट्रीय कामधेनु योजना, राष्ट्रीय गोकुल योजना के लिए 750 करोड़ रुपए। असंगठित क्षेत्र के लिए कामगारों के लिए प्रधानमंत्री श्रम योगी मान धन योजना का ऐलान, 15,000 रुपए कमाने वाले को मिलेगा योजना का लाभ। 60 साल की उम्र के बाद 3,000 रुपए की निश्चित मासिक पेंशन, 10 करोड़ मजदूरों को मिलेगा योजना का लाभ। रक्षा बजट के लिए पहली बार 3 लाख करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा का आवंटन। ओआरओपी के लिए 35,000 करोड़ रुपए। अंतरिम बजट से रेलवे को 1,58,000 करोड़ दिए जाने का ऐलान। केंद्रीय मंत्री अरुण जेटली ने कहा, बजट से मध्यम वर्ग को मिलेगी बड़ी राहत। बीजेपी अध्यक्ष अमित शाह ने बताया, किसान, मजदूर और मध्यम वर्ग की अपेक्षाओं को पूरा करने वाला बजट। विपक्ष ने बताया चुनावी बजट।
All right, we'll begin our discussion now on taxation with our expert panel. Starting first with you, Mr. Jain. Let's try and analyze and let's try and find out, of course, individual taxes first and what it means for the common man. And if you can clarify the taxable annual income and what amount can be taxed and how people can save really.
You see in this budget, the finance minister, considering the fact that this is an interim budget, has tried to address few issues, taking care that what is urgent as on date need to be taken care of. And that's why he mentioned that though it is an interim budget, but there are certain corrective measures which need to be taken care of. And he said that salaried employees and the middle class taxpayer and the person who falls in the lower tax bracket, they need to be taken care of, and that problem need to be addressed. And that's why he proposed that there will be no tax in case you have an income up to ₹5 lakh. So what he has done correctly, which we need to be understood, is that now as on date, there is no tax threshold limit is 2,50,000. So it continues to be 2,50,000 rupees. But in case you have an income up to 5 lakh rupees, your tax liability is 5%, which is 12,500. So what he has done, he has proposed a rebate of what we call Section 87A, that in case your income is up to doesn't exceed ₹5 lakh, then you are eligible to claim this rebate of 12,500. So if you have an income 5 lakh rupees, your tax liability is 12,500 rupees, you have a rebate of 12,500 rupees, no tax. So now in addition thereto, he has given a standard deduction which increased from 40,000 to 50,000 rupees. A person, salaried employee or otherwise, is also eligible for making a long-term investment in PPF or life insurance premium or a provident fund, etc. of 1,50,000 rupees. So a person who has an income up to say 7 lakh rupees, virtually there will be no tax, because 7 lakh rupees you have in salary income, 50,000 you get a standard deduction, 6,50,000 rupees, 1,50,000 rupees you get as a investment benefit, so 5 lakh rupees. On 5 lakh rupees, the tax liability will be 12,500 and the rebate will be 12,500, so there will be no liability. However, in case your income exceeds 5 lakh rupees, the moment it goes 5 lakh, 10,000 or 20,000 rupees, then you will not be eligible for this 12,500 rebate. So I can work it out like this: in case the income is 5 lakh 10,000 rupees after standard deduction or after investment, then you will be required to pay tax from 2 lakh 50,000 to 5 lakh 5%, and from 5 lakh to 5 lakh 10,000 20%. So tax liability will be somewhere 22,500. So the eligibility, this is a threshold, and that's why you would have noticed in the budget speech the finance minister said that though there are taxpayer more than 6 crore, this benefit will be available to 3 crore of taxpayer, which according to statistical data are the persons who are filing tax return as on date at an income of 5 lakh rupees or less. So all they will get a benefit. As on date, this benefit was available to those who were having income up to rupees 3 lakh 50,000. So there was a rebate similar as on date also. But now this has been increased from 3 lakh 50,000 to 5 lakh rupees, and the benefit of rebate amount has been increased from 2,500 to 12,500. But this is a major change which the finance minister has addressed, I believe.
You know, and just for the benefit of our viewers and the people who are watching, of course, we've taken a salary of 5 lakhs and 5 lakhs 20,000. Say, for instance, a person's salary is 10 lakhs. How would you break it down?
If a person is having a salary of say 10 lakh rupees, he will be eligible for a standard deduction of 50,000 rupees. So he get a benefit of 10,000 rupees extra. Earlier he was getting a 40,000 rupee deduction. Now he will get a benefit of 50,000 rupees. So his income will be 9 lakh 50,000 rupees. I assume a person who is making having an income of 10 lakh rupees would be making an investment in provident fund or insurance premium or something like this of 1 lakh 50,000 rupees. So after the deduction of this, he will have an income of rupees 8 lakh. On 8 lakh rupees of income, he will be required to pay tax 2 lakh 50,000 to 5 lakh 5%, which will be 12,500. On 5 lakh to 8 lakh at the rate of 20% will be 60,000 rupees. So 60,000 plus 12,500, 72,500 plus 4% medical and health and education cess that he will be required to pay. So that's a calculation, because this person will not be eligible for this benefit which the finance minister has announced today of increase in from but up to exemption up to rupees 5 lakh. So condition which he has put in that your income should not exceed 5 lakh rupees. The moment the income exceed, then this benefit is not available. So that's why the distinction he has drawn that way.
Sure, right.
जी अजय जी, अगर इसी बात को आगे बढ़ाएं तो जिस तरह से वित्त मंत्री ने भी वहां पर काफ़ी एक्सप्लेन किया कि अगर आपकी इनकम 5 लाख से भी ज़्यादा है, आप 1.5 लाख रुपए अगर आप इन्वेस्ट करते हैं अप्रूव्ड फाइनेंशियल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स में, या फिर आगे स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन भी ऐड करते हैं, या फिर 2 घरों के रेंट की अगर बात की जाए तो उसको भी उन्होंने कंसिडर किया है, और साथ में हाउस रेंट जो है 2.4 लाख तक का TDS कर दिया है। तो क्या इसका एक पिलफिल आगे फ़ायदा होगा?
और इसके अलावा एक और भी उन्होंने प्रावधान किया है, वो है कि आपको पहले TDS की लिमिट थी कि अगर आपको इंटरेस्ट 10,000 रुपये आपको FD से मिल रहे हैं, वो लिमिट उन्होंने 10,000 से बढ़ा के 40,000 कर दी है। मतलब TDS भरने की ज़रूरत नहीं, पहले 10,000 तक था। ऐसे अगर आप देखेंगे उन्होंने छोटे छोटे 3-4 और भी सुविधाएं दी हैं। मेरे हिसाब से जो आज किया गया है उसके साथ मिडिल क्लास और ख़ास करके लोअर मिडिल क्लास इससे काफ़ी खुश रहेगा। कारण ये उनकी अपेक्षा थी कि हो सकता है कि इंटरिम बजट के नाम पे सरकार कोई इनकम टैक्स के मामलों में कुछ फेरबदल करे ही नहीं, सब कुछ फाइनल बजट जुलाई तक रुके। तब भी वित्त मंत्री जी ने इन कुछ चीज़ों का, जैसे उन्होंने कहा है कि चाहे है ये इंटरिम बजट, तब भी मैं उनको ऊपर कुछ स्टेप्स ले रहा हूँ, तो इसके कारण रियल एस्टेट को फ़ायदा होगा। मतलब जिसको अपने आप तो फ़ायदा होगा ही, जो बेनिफिशियरी है रियल एस्टेट सेक्टर जो पीछे लैग कर रहा था उसको पक्का फ़ायदा होगा। पक्का फ़ायदा होगा थोड़े से जहाँ FDs का पोस्ट ऑफिस के अंदर FDs हैं या बैंक के अंदर हैं उसके वालों को भी फ़ायदा होगा। और मेडिकल स्कीम का जो बढ़ाया गया है उसके कारण भी मुझे लगता है जो आज इंश्योरेंस या अपने पिछले साल इंक्लूड कर दिया गया था कि अगर आपके अपने पेरेंट्स के ऊपर भी आप खर्चा करते हैं, डिपेंडेंट्स हैं, वो उनको फ़ायदा होगा। तो उन्होंने प्रयत्न किया आज कि ज़्यादा बड़ी चेंजेस ना करते हुए कैसे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जो मध्यम वर्ग के लोग हैं उनको फ़ायदा कैसे दिया जाए।
जी, मैं
और ये टैक्स के अंदर जो कर रेट्स या कर की जो उन्होंने स्कोप वगैरह बढ़ाया, ये था मिडिल क्लास के लिए, और दूसरे क्लास के लिए उसके अभी फिर बात करेंगे ही कि कैसे कृषकों के लिए कैसे किया, अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर के लिए भी कैसे किया। उन्होंने आज काफ़ी देश मतलब अमीरों के लिए जो आज तक करते रहते थे, इंडस्ट्री के लिए, ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर के लिए करते थे, जो शहरी लोगों के लिए करते थे, वो सरकार का प्रायोरिटी बदल के वो ले आए हैं कृषकों पे, ग्रामीण विभागों पे, और जो लोअर मिडिल क्लास है उसके ऊपर।
जी, इसी को हम आगे भी बढ़ाएंगे, लेकिन पुल्लाराव जी मैं आपको भी यहाँ पर पूछना चाहूँगी कि जो प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम्स होती थी पहले टैक्स पेयर्स को कि एक घर अपने लिए है लेकिन अब वो कहीं और नौकरी करते हैं, दूसरा घर है, फिर उसके बाद उसको लेकर सवाल उठते थे कि भाई किस तरह से टैक्स बचाया जाए, इधर उधर से कुछ ना कुछ कोशिश करते थे। तो क्या इन सब चीज़ों को सिंप्लीफाई किया गया है, जो वही जो प्रैक्टिकल चीज़ें हैं उनको इंक्लूड किया गया है इस बार, ताकि जो मन में कसक रह जाती थी वो पूरी हो जाए?
ऐसा है, ये प्रैक्टिकल चीज़ों इंक्लूड किया था। हमारे फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर का एक बड़ा एक्सपीरियंस चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट है। यह है पहले बार बहुत साल के बाद एक चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट आया फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर और एन इकोनॉमिस्ट फॉर एग्जांपल। तो सारा प्रैक्टिकल चीज़ क्या था कि 2 हाउसेस आए, एक हाउस का रेंट डिडक्शन का टैक्स बेनिफिट दिया। ये छोटी छोटी काम है, पब्लिक को बड़ा मदद किया था। फॉर एग्जांपल एक इश्यू है, आपका कैपिटल गेन्स टैक्स में सिर्फ अभी तक इम्प्रैक्टिकल रूल है, एक घर यू हैव टू परचेस फॉर 1 हाउस, या अभी 2 घर कर सकते बोला। इतना बड़ा सिंपल काम है लेकिन स्प्लिट अप किया था। तो ये रियल एस्टेट मार्केट के भी स्टिमुलेशन आते हैं। मैं सोच रहा हूँ इस बजट में वो सिंप्लीफिकेशन बहुत ज़्यादा किया था, और ये चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स का और टैक्स एक्सपर्ट्स लाइक मिस्टर जैन कैन अप्रिशिएट दिस, वो प्रैक्टिकल एस्पेक्ट्स लाया। वो पहले मैं भी देख रहा हूँ वो पार्लियामेंट हाउस में बड़ा एप्लॉज आया, इतना एप्लॉज मैं नहीं देखा एमपीओ से ये 5 साल में। सो मैं सोच रहा हूँ ये बड़ी कंसल्टेशन भी किया, वो वाइड कंसल्टेशन किया था। सो ये बजट में सारा हिडन बेनिफिट्स है। साधारण लोग ये नहीं मांगते ये क्या हो रहा है, 2 घर ये घर, लेकिन लॉट ऑफ बेनिफिट्स आर देयर एंड ये सिंप्लीफिकेशन टैक्सेस सिंप्लीफाई हो गया और रेवेन्यू के भी अभी अच्छा होते हैं। तो देखो ये बजट हम पहले लोग देखते हैं 2.5 लाख से 5 लाख किया, दे मेड इट 5 लाख, एक्सप्लेन किया था आपका बेनिफिट आ जाए, लेकिन सारा हिडन बेनिफिट्स है, क्वाइट बेनिफिट्स है। ये लॉन्ग रन में इकोनॉमी को अच्छा है, और टैक्स पेमेंट तो टैक्स फ्रेंडली रेजिम हो रहे हैं। वो भी बताया अभी हमारे सिस्टम ला रहे, ये टैक्स का कोई कॉन्टैक्ट नहीं है, नो कॉन्टैक्ट टैक्सेशन। वो भी आगे चलते हैं। हमारे मॉडर्न इकोनॉमी में ज़रूरत है, हैरेसमेंट में भी कम हो जाएगा। So I think he has done a very good job in making something simple.
जी,
Right, Mr. Dua, you wanted to add something to that?
On the issue of payment of taxes, Dr. Pula has already mentioned about it, making the returns simpler and assuring that these will be processed within 24 hours of your filing, and that will be done digitally without any interaction with any income tax official, and also said that shortly once the technology incorporation has been done, even the refunds will be issued within 24 hours but digitally, or if you don't have a digital access then it will reach you at home. So simplicity in payment of taxes is as important as the tax rate itself. Why I say this is, if you recall, ease of doing business, one of the factors on which India has been found fault with by World Bank in all these 11 or 12 surveys which have been rounds which have been done, is that paying taxes in India is an extremely difficult proposition. We weren't making much of a progress there. And not only that, it's also be said that those 0.5% roughly, 99.5% people don't really get picked up for scrutiny. If scrutiny of those 0.5% cases is done, those will also, that will work will also, scrutiny means detailed examination. That will be undertaken digitally. You won't be called to come and explain. If any additional proof or documents are required, those will also will be loaded, and then a decision taken on those without your actually knowing which official in the income tax department is dealing with that. The anonymity of that itself, I think, is an important contribution to bringing about expediency and transparency in the taxation system.
Yes, Dr. Balram.
Just I'm very happy Mr. Vadma has brought this linkage to the ease of doing business. You know, I kind of overlooked that. I think that's one of the underlying themes of this budget. How to go towards your goal of ease of doing business, which is a kind of barometer for the whole economy. How does this economy function? So I think what he has said is very, very correct. And this has been the goal, and this will help change the ranking further of India in the ease of business thing. And the taxes are one of the biggest obstacles which this ease of business index is facing. So I think he's very correct in pointing
Though
this.
I would just add one rider to it. I think with respect to GST, we need to still go pretty far to ensure that the burden of compliance is reduced and that multiplicity of returns is kind of brought down, and also the fact that the very system of filing returns, a prerequisite I have always maintained, does require excess capacity in your network to be created. Today, you try and pay it on your last day. If suppose some professionals like us have to pay it by, say, that 15th and the return to be put in by the 20th. On the 20th, you just can't get access because the system doesn't have the surplus capacity for it.
Right.
So the network expansion in indirect taxes, amalgamation has been done of various taxes, but reducing the number of returns and also the system becoming more friendly, payment friendly.
You know,
then you will have both direct and indirect systems.
We'll just come to GST in just a bit, because the finance minister spoke about GST as well. But just to get the record straight as far as individual taxes are concerned, Mr. Jain, tax slabs have not been raised because the finance minister very clearly said that it can only be done in a full budget.
Yeah.
What has happened instead is that the rebate has been increased. ATC limit has gone up by 50,000 rupees.
No, the ATC limit continues to be same.
Okay, continues to be the same. Just standard deduction.
Let me clarify. See, when the finance minister was delivering his speech, he narrated all the development which has taken place in the last 4 years. He said when we took over in year 2014, this when ATC exemption was up to rupees 1 lakh, which we have increased to 1,50,000. Interest on housing loan exemption was from 1,50,000, which we have increased 2 lakh rupees.
Yeah.
Standard deduction was introduced last year at 40,000 rupees. So what he has done is, then he has said we continue with the same. We have done it. Standard deduction has been increased from 40,000 to 50,000, and this 10,000 rupees benefit will be available across the board to all salary taxpayer and all pensioner, because pension is considered to be a salary income. So they get a benefit of 10,000 rupees. If they fall in the tax bracket of 20% or 30%, that will be direct benefit to each of the taxpayer that way. So this is the one part he has done. Then, as he was very candid that this being an interim budget, I am not tinkering with the tax rate, surcharge, etc. So that will be the prerogative of when the new government comes in, so that they will decide on that way. But to smoothen and to erase out certain administrative issues and other issues, he has addressed 3-4 concerns. One concern, he says that now as on date, looking that when you make a deposit with bank or post office, etc., in case your interest income is 10,000 rupees or more, then tax is deducted at 10% by the bank, etc. So many people, many household ladies, etc., they have a saving in the bank. They deposit, they first get deposit, then TDS get deducted, and then they have to apply refund. To remove this hardship, he says, I am increasing this threshold to 40,000 rupees. So if in case you make a deposit with bank, roughly say now it's 50 lakh rupees, and you get an 8% interest or 7%, so there will be no deduction tax at source, so there will be no filing return, etc. So that's one benefit which he has given, even to senior citizen or any household lady, etc. So because that benefit. Second benefit was coming up in the housing. So there was a challenge coming up that when you own a house, Now, law presume that you are having some income because that house is there, whether you are using for your purposes or whether you are letting it out. So the law, as on date, provide exemption of one house in case it is self-occupied. And there have been some issues. So now to clarify, he said, now I am giving a benefit of two houses because sometime for your parents you require, sometime for your children are required, sometime you are posted at one place, you are having family at other place. So he is giving an exemption of two houses. Third, what he did was say that now moving from one house to another house is also exemption capital gain. So you have a house today or you have property today which you want to sell because you have a larger family, you have two children where you need to accommodate them, you want to buy two flats looking to the new family structure, which is people want to live independently, children want to live independently. So the law today permit, if you have a capital gain arising from one property and invest in another property, then exemption. But if you invest more than one property, then a benefit is available to one. The finance minister clarified, now the benefit will be available in case even for two properties. So, and this will be benefit when capital gain is not more than 2 crore, up to 2 crore rupees. So today I have a flat, suppose in Delhi, which is 1 crore rupees. I sell it out for say 1.80 crore. Now I want to buy two flats or 90 lakh each. I can buy, there will be no tax. So that's a benefit which he has given on that part. Another path-breaking change which is there, which we must notice is that he has promised that return will be processed within 24 hours, which will mean that the moment you file the return, you will get immediately a processing and the refund within 24 hours. So this will address the main concern of the so many taxpayers. I believe out of this 6 crore odd taxpayer, this is was a major challenge that you file the return, you have a refund which doesn't come for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, it's a long wait. Now he has promised that it will be processed within 24 hours. I believe that will be a game changer and it will encourage more and more people to file the return well in time because people need not wait. Because say in April you can start filing return. People wait for September or July, the last date for filing the return. So you will be encouraged that you file on 1st April and on 2nd April morning you get a check on your bank account. So that's a game changer which the finance minister has announced. And I must compliment the finance minister, though it was an interim budget. So some teething issues and problem which he has taken head on has been addressed.
Mr. Jain, I'm just going to interrupt because the